Australia. Oh, he's hit this one, Miles. Great shot. Oh, it's a biggie. Straight over the top.
Kohli drives through the covers. It's into the fence like a tracer bullet.
Welcome back, guys. So, as promised, we're back, albeit a little late, all because of hectic schedules and everything. It went in late yesterday, the match, but finally India won. So, जद्दोजहद के बाद बहुत कुछ करने के बाद India finally won. So, first thoughts, guys. So, just to introduce you to the panel, everybody knows everybody here right now. We three have been the constant face ramming you with all the information. We are happy that India won. I hope we are happy with India won. Albeit whatever way, whatever mechanism we won the match with doesn't keep that much of an importance. But first thoughts on how we won the match, guys. Gopal, if I may start with you.
Yeah, Debankar. Very happy for a win, especially after the last year's 10-wicket loss against the same opposition. The bowling was good, restricting them, but then batting, it was a shaky piece. Of course, I mean, Hardik had that skew act yesterday along with Jadeja, but it was a shaky piece of chase. It was not as comfortable chase. But I also feel that the conditions were different yesterday, Debankar. The pitch had some bit more grass than the one that had in Afghanistan versus Sri Lanka match, and the ball also was turning a bit. So good to have India chase down that difficult target, not so difficult target rather. And the bottom line, as you rightly pointed out, is yes. I mean, we chased down. So that is more important here.
I'll put Shantan straight in a spot. Happy with the team selection, Shantan?
No, I'm not. And I think a lot of people were not, because you can't drop Pant with the kind of form that he brings, right? Straight away. I don't know you drop DK or a Rahul or even Virat. But Pant is not someone that sits out in the dugout. And also, I don't see a place for Avesh Khan in this team.
Absolutely.
Again, I don't know how you put your bowling combination. You play another leg spinner in Bishnoi, but Avesh Khan, what is the point of playing a bowler where you can only bowl him 2 overs? And that's what has been the trend. You see, when did he bowl 4 overs in which match? He only bowled 2 overs. So not happy with the team selection.
So you're saying Rishabh Pant, Avesh Khan are there 2 things, or are the 2 missing links possibly? Rishabh Pant should have played instead of either KL Rahul or Dinesh Karthik, and Avesh Khan would have been gone for another, of those leg spinners that we could have gone ahead with. So Gopal,
yeah,
Yuzi, happy with Yuzi's performance?
Not so.
See, we were discussing about maybe giving Bishnoi a chance.
There was a choice between Yuzi Chahal and Bishnoi. But I mean, I was actually very impressed with Shadab Khan, the pace that he bowled in that wicket. Maybe Chahal probably has to have that extra bit of variation, but I can understand. Probably one-off match. He probably went for 32 runs in 4 overs. Didn't pick a wicket. Not so happy. But then Chahal can surprise us with his performance in one of the other matches. But I mean, to cut the long story short, Bishnoi could be a dangerous person in this wicket. If this wicket is going to continue in similar fashion, I would rather prefer to play Bishnoi instead of Chahal in the future matches.
So, I mean, as predicted, the toss again played I would not say a major role, because this match went till 40 overs, as Shantan actually pointed out. And it went pretty close. So, but then again, I mean, it was a team which was chasing, or rather batting second, won the match very easily at the end of the day. So, Shantan, I mean, do we see India taking? I mean, we've been talking about the fearless attitude that India has. All the batting mechanisms that we were thinking of, people coming down from ball 1, hitting the ball. We didn't see all of that at all. I mean, we were seeing the timid approach again, right? Rohit tried to show a little bit of aggressiveness. He couldn't. He perished at a very bad strike rate. Agreed. Kohli wanted to do that, but then again, he was having so many inside edges, and then he stopped. He went again to another 100 strike rate, 34-35 runs. And I was disappointed with Sky also. So a little bit about what do you think about, number one is, would we again see, team winning the toss, choosing to bowl first and then winning matches from here? Or will we see somebody getting bowled like in Afghanistan always does, win the toss and maybe bat first. So do you think India will do that somehow down the line? Not with Hong Kong. I'm talking about the top four. Hong Kong is of course easy for us. What do you
Yeah.
think?
See. I think this is a tournament where each match counts. Okay, if you leave the Hong Kong match, when you go to the top four as well, each point counts. So no one would take a risk because that creates a lot of controversy. If you win the toss, irrespective of what the condition is, and I don't think there was no dew yesterday. Okay, and
Not at
one
all.
thing I would still mention, I know Gopal mentioned that there were more grass. There were actually less grass than the first match. It
It
was
was played on the
a
same
dry.
pitch, so it was a
It
brown
was
brownish.
played on the
Yeah.
same pitch, and it was a dry pitch. It was no grass at all. Okay, so I think they'll still bowl first so that they can chase. And on the approach, and I'm everything that I'm saying, I'm keeping the World Cup in mind as well. Your top three are three players who are out of form and out of confidence, and you cannot expect them to hit out. You have to get in either a Pant or a Surya Kumara Yadav in the top three. Either becoming down in number three or open the batting with Rohit. KL has to move down, or maybe out of the team as well if you still want to play the DK competition. So this cannot go on. And whatever you do now, you cannot experiment. You would have to persist with that in the Australia World Cup as well.
Okay. So Gopal, stepping a little back with India's bowling approach, did you like? I mean, of course, Avesh Khan was out of form, but who all were your positives? I mean, of course, there was a brilliant four over first, burst, or rather two over burst from Bhuvi. He did well. Surprise bouncer, Babar Azam taken away. But do you think Pakistan also had a very timid approach towards their batting when they came out in the pack? And then
Not
again,
really. Not really.
yeah,
I don't. But Divankar, if you look at our analysis in the squad piece, we always had that mention wherein we said that if you remove the top three in the Pakistan squad, especially Fakhar Zaman, you don't have much of a person who is the batters either come and slog or they don't. I mean they don't hit it out. They either play out those singles or they hit out for a huge sixes. They don't know how to hit boundary balls. So
but
that
to
is
you,
one.
should Fakhar had opened again? Mohammad Rizwan is woefully out of form and he's taking too many balls up front. Should Fakhar have opened up along with Babar
might be
Azam?
might be a lefty righty combination always works.
Right.
So and might have proved something different for Pakistan. But given Rizwan's and Babar Azam's combinations have worked so far really well, and Fakhar Zaman coming down the order is also, as he historically has proven well for Pakistan. So probably they didn't want to experiment too much about it. One thing again, I mean the entire match, if you look at it, Devangur, I thought Hardik's bowling was top notch. I mean, he quickly realized that if I'm going to bowl some length ball, the Pakistani batsmen are going to just slog me for sixes. Just pitch that ball a bit shorter, surprise bounces, and he was top slot. I mean, and the comeback of Hardik is in itself is a story now. The Bankur and Chanter after the IPL, he's fit. He knows what he is doing it out, and he was. I mean, in bowling, of course, we'll talk about the batting piece and the contribution that he made in the match yesterday. But bowling, he was absolutely phenomenal. And of course, Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, his opening spell, as well as in the last spell also. The 19th over he bowled, or the 18th over. No, the 19th over, where he took two wickets. 17th over.
Yes.
When he took two consecutive wickets, was actually the final stages of the match. I mean, of course, we gave them that extra 19 runs. Thankfully for India, it didn't cost us much.
No, it almost did.
It would have cost us the match almost.
Exactly.
And
Almost did.
we talk about who won the match. If you look at the numbers, it's the extras who has won us the match. You look at the number of singles, the
So many
number of
points on that.
sixes, and
I would
the
have put
fours Pakistan and India hit. It's neck and neck. It's those wides for which they also took some buys as well. Won us the match.
So Shantan, what do you make out of this Pakistani side batting lineup? Number one, I mean, of course we are talking about the top three. Barring that, I would say Iftikhar Ahmed did play well. I mean, he looked to be somebody made out for these kind of pitches. But then again, sending Khushdil Shah out, although he's a lefty, ahead of Shadab Khan, giving Shadab Khan so many less balls to actually make an impact. and then Mohammad Nawaz and all those players. Do you think Pakistan has the firepower? Like if they are like maybe 84 for 4 in after 10 overs, and they have 10 overs still to go with only 6 batsmen in the hutch. Do you think this batting side could actually take them to 180 for 190 kind of a total?
See, I think the Pakistan middle order is always the talk of the town that they're not that strong, which is true. They're very one-dimensional. No one plays long innings or stabilizes. And what frustrates me is there was so much of a hue and cry to drop Hafiz and Shoaib Malik. Shoaib Malik was in the ground yesterday, by the way,
Yes, yes.
right? And then bloody you give up, chances to these youngsters. You prepare them for a couple of years. When the chance comes, they don't take it. They don't grab it. For once, Babar Azam got out cheaply, and look at how the rest of the batting follows. So, quick three things that if I were the coach or if I were the typical Pakistan supporter, I would have loved to see is one of Rizwan or Babar has to come to the middle order, or maybe number three. You open with Fakhar Zaman. He has to open with his approach. Maybe he opens with Babar so that Babar gets to play longer innings. You bring Rizwan in the middle order where you get some stability. And Shoaib Malik will be missed. That is still a guy. You look at the bloody fitness, the Naseem Shahs and everything, getting cramps and falling down. How many matches have these guys played? Right? With the kind of physio, you carry physios and those dietitians these days, right? Why were they getting cramps? They were coming from a cold country, Netherlands, to a hot country. They need more glucose. They need more water to not feel these cramps and all, right? So I don't know what's going on with this team. They have to get a stronger bat because you can win against a lower side team. India made a lot of faltering defects yesterday, but if you're playing against a top team, a difficult match, a crucial knockout match, you will get exposed. If Babar and Rizwan has been covering up for all of these middle order batsmen for so long. The day
Rizwan
both of them gets out.
Yeah, so Rizwan for me also has to come down the order. I mean, I think you need to have, at least one expressive batsman up front, which is Fakhar Zaman for them. And then use Shadab Khan. I mean, they haven't been using Shadab Khan.
Yeah, they've taken him down the order. I know it's not PSL, it's an international match. Yes. But Shadab Khan has to bat up. If he is, considered as that all-rounder in the team, he has to come up.
So Gopal, question right back to you. I think let's come to India's batting now. So I had given a premise that, all the talks of, going boom, bang from ball one, whosoever is coming down to bat, Rohit Sharma will be hitting the ball out of the park from ball number one. Virat Kohli might give a little bit of stability. He's not the guy who plays like that way. But then again, Surya Kumar Yadav, KL Rahul, and to some extent, Rohit himself. He was trying to hit the ball out of the park many times. If he hits the ball, that stays a hit. What are your thoughts on that? Too much talk, doing nothing, or is it like the big match pressure getting onto them, which shouldn't actually?
I won't say big match pressure, Dibankur, but then the target. See, one thing was that we were actually trying to restrict them below 120, 127, 128, and they went on to scores of say 140, 145. So that target was slightly a trickier target in the session change time. That would have probably haunted Rohit Sharma a bit. He was pretty disappointed with the score that Pakistan scored at the end of it. So when he comes to bat and sees, I mean, of course, we all know Rahul was not doing well. His feet was not moving. He was LBW in the match against Zimbabwe as well, and in a probably in a slightly similar fashion where the ball came back in. And in this match, it was a clear no foot movement, trying to do something and then getting bowled out, and he was completely got off for pace. So Virat Kohli comes into bat. Of course, Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli were trying to play their natural game. But at this point in time, Debankur, I think we'll also have to give the credit to the Pakistani bowlers as well. I think they've also bowled brilliantly. The young team had bowled well in those conditions. Shadab came into immediately after the power play, gave nothing away to Rohit Sharma or Virat Kohli. So I mean, I won't be too disappointed with the way they were actually doing the partnership. But then at the fall of that wicket, Rohit Sharma's wicket was a very crucial one. I was terribly disappointed with the way Virat Kohli got out immediately after Rohit Sharma, because you don't see Virat doing such a mistakes. The old Kohli, the 2012, 2013, 14 Kohli, when he was a chase master, he knows what. So something mental thing is.
See, one thing is, one thing to Kohli's credit yesterday was, if you see at that first 6 overs, 2 overs were bowled by each of their fast bowlers, Rauf, Naseem Shah, and the other guy, Dahani, right?
Dahani, yeah.
And he faced the maximum number of balls,
Correct.
Kohli, and he actually ensured that they don't lose another wicket during that time. There were some inside edges here and there. He gave us a glimpse that the old Kohli is back with some of those, pull shots and one front foot shot over mid wicket, one from on top of the covers. I agree. I was so disappointed with the choice of shot, especially when the ball was turning from that left arm. You could have just played the singles. One of the master strokes for yesterday, and probably a positive, was that they sent Jadeja up front, because they were a leg spinner and a left arm spinner bowling, and the ball coming in. Right.
So that was my next
the
question.
moment, you pick Jadeja from number 7 to number 4, your batting order in a way optically becomes long, right? So I think that was one of the key master strokes by India. But overall, extremely poor batting approach.
So a couple of questions before we try and wrap our discussion up with some thinking about what are the key points of yesterday. But a couple of discussion points. I throw it over to both of you. Take it up as in how you want. Number one, Shantan has been saying that why play Hardik so low after what Hardik has been doing in IPL, coming down one down, taking Gujarat Titans to the title, playing number 3 there and scoring so many runs. So do you think Hardik is being touted as another DK? Kind of first question is that. But I'm very happy that Jadeja came out. Jadeja played a tremendous innings. I mean, he did not let the run rate pressure get onto him. He was not as slow as a Surya Kumar Yadav was trying to hit every ball, or a Rohit Sharma. He was pacing his innings well. He was trying to look for those twos. So happy with that, but also a little unhappy with where Hardik Pandya has come down with. Or would you think that going ahead, this is how India would be actually going ahead with this kind of a rundown?
See, I think it looked a little lower than usual for yesterday's match, because you brought in Jadeja, right? And he actually played for a few more balls. I don't think Jadeja, that will be a tactic they'll use consistently. The Jadeja will come in number 6, number 7.
So Hardik will be sent ahead of Jadeja next
absolutely. It was just the match situation yesterday, and the fact that between Rohit and Kohli, he used up so many balls. Rohit is slow in the first 10 balls, but he was slow in the next 8 balls as well. So it will not be that low. Hardik will come up the order, and he'll probably be in those 10th, 12th over. But yesterday was a one-off case for him.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Shantan. The only thing is, in a chase, I mean, if you're going to go the same lineup as we spoke, which is Rahul and Rohit, then Kohli, SKI, then you would eventually, I mean, if you're going to play Pant instead of Karthik, assume that Karthik is dropped and Pant is coming into the 11s, then you will have to bring Pant at that point in time at number 5. So automatically now Hardik's position is at number 6, which I am actually okay with it, because he gets those last 5-6 overs to play it out. He knows and he knows what to be done in those 5-6 overs. So I mean, I won't
form that Hardik is in. I think you should be giving him much more overs, because he has now learned how to pace his innings well. So I think,
absolutely.
I would rather want him to be one down. You see, I'm going ahead a little bit off here, but maybe.
See, one down. Yeah, see the only concern with him, one down is you're throwing your.
If you're batting first,
go ahead.
If you're batting first, I might want to do that experiment just to push the scoring rate, because anyway I'm not chasing a score. But in a chase master, I mean, in a chase, I would still want Hardik to come at that number 4, number 5, knows what needs to be done, and clinically finishes it off.
Yes, I think see, all of these players know their roles within the team, right? So I would have not done so much of experiment to get him in number 1 and all. because then that spoils the order for everyone else. And he's still your best bet. Today in the first 7 batter, the first guy that you think is going to win you the match, you will say Hardik Pandya. So you don't want to get him so early exposed with the swinging ball and all. And then if he gets out, then the entire team can feel a little dull. I would still keep him in number 4, number 5, because that's a floater region depending on the match situation.
Okay, so I think we're almost done with today's discussion. Before we, wrap it up and thank everybody who's tuned in to listen to us, what do you think could be, your top 2 turning moments or key moments of the last day's match? Gopal, you want to go ahead?
Top 2 moments. See, one of the moments that I thought was keeping Nawaz till the 20th over. I thought Babar could have bought him a bit early when he knew that the run rate was a bit high, and India would probably want to capitalize on that particular piece. It could have gone anywhere. Probably if Nawaz would have picked up Jadeja at that point in time, or Hardik at that point in time, the game would have got sealed. I mean, you would have not gone till 20th over. So that was one. And the second piece, of course, I mean, Babar's early dismissal was a very key moment. I mean, you took that wicket. You had not taken wickets, a single wicket in the last match that we played against Pakistan. So that early wicket was very crucial. Very good changeover.
So Shantan, your top 2 moments or your top 2 turning?
I think this is the most difficult question you have asked, Devankur. There were so many key moments in the match yesterday. If you ask me, I think from a bowling perspective, if you ask me, I think that session, that section where India picked up with a lot of wickets, right? Bowling constant short deliveries, which they were not expecting, and then bowling a little full when they were expecting short balls to get those LBWs done. While batting, I think for me, the key moment that turned the match was that 6 against Naseem Shah when he was not able to bowl. Jadeja hit him for a straight 6. There was an LBW appeal. He was given out. My immediate reaction was pitched outside, with my friends. And then he couldn't bowl, right? And hats off to that guy. His spirit. He was in pain. You can see he couldn't even walk. I was surprised how was he running and then bowling. So I think that 6 really turned the equation, because without that, it would have been difficult even with the spinner bowling at the end.
Yeah. So for me, I mean, to end it on a lighter note, the way Hardik came out to bat, walked across his stumps and flicked this guy Naseem Shah on 2 fuller length deliveries in swinging Yorkers, and Naseem Shah was like, "Yeah, he missed the LBW," and the nonchalance with which he ran away was the turning event for me. And with the same nonchalance, you tuned into Just Another Cricket Podcast, and that has been our, kind of our thoughts on how the India-Pakistan match panned out to be. We are very happy that we won it, and possibly the next time that we meet again, that is India-Pakistan in the top 4, we've got a, better Indian side, or rather stronger Indian side turning up. Of course, Pakistan is not a team to be taken lightly. They played well. They proved it yesterday again. So kudos and congratulations to the Pakistan team, and of course a very good match in the end. So let's hope all the other matches also live up to the billing, and we also have 2 good teams coming from the other side as well. So with that said, here it's Shantan, Gopal and Devankur signing off from Just Another Cricket Podcast, and that's it. So we'll tune in again with a post-match session of tomorrow's match, which is Bangladesh versus...
It is Bangladesh versus Afghanistan, which is a crucial match, because if Bangladesh wins, Sri Lanka is out of the tournament virtually, almost. So it's going to be fun, exciting watching the match.
So thank you so much, guys. And the usual things that we say at the end, please do subscribe if you like our channel. Please spread the word. Like if you like, press the like button if you've liked the video. And yes, we'll see you in the next Just Another Cricket Podcast. Thank you so much.
Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.